Okay, I think I hit the start button before I was ready, but since I did, that's fine. How is everybody today? It's been a long day for me, and it is evening time after dinner, and I'm at my favorite spot, getting ready to craft a little and relax a little. It's my winding down time. Okay. So let's see what we got. To make the cover, I have 2 pieces of chipboard. Each is 6.5 by 6.5 inches, and 1 piece that is 6.5 by 2.5 inches. That will be my spine, and they will be assembled like so with the spine in the center. And then I took 3 sheets of cardstock over here that I'll be wrapping the cover with, and also for the hinges. In addition, I have some bookbinding tape. It's not really necessary for me to do the bookbinding for this particular album because I think I might want to use fabric around the spine, but it doesn't hurt. So I'm going to take it. I cut it to 18 inches. And then I'm going to cut it down the middle because I only needed 1 inch wide, and this is 2 inches wide. So I cut it in the middle. I'm going to use my grid lines to make sure they're straight. So I'm going to put all of them on the same grid line here, with about 1/4 of an inch in between, and maybe a little more than 1/4 inch, just a teeny more, because I find that 1/4 inch is on like the it's borderline. I'm using 1/8 of an inch thick chipboard. It's very, very strong. See, very, very strong. It doesn't bend easily. It's 100 points heavy chipboard. Putting them together, it's about 1/4 inch. Okay, and when you move it around, okay, it has to have some room, especially if you're piling up paper. And I'm going to put the cardstock over it on both sides, and then I'm going to add more for the hinges, and then maybe more for the decoration. So it's going to get accumulated over here. So I find that if I take the 1/4 inch and then I add another 1/16 of an inch, is just the right size. Okay. Okay, so if you're using a thinner chipboard, just double the width of it. Okay, so if you're using an 1/16 of an inch, just put them together like that. It'll give you the width, and then add another 25% to it. That will give you how much you need. Okay, I think I'm being clear about that. And I'm putting the bookbinding tape. So if you don't have bookbinding tape, you can use masking tape. You can use tie-back, some kind of material that doesn't tear easily, and you can attach it to the chipboard easily. If you're using just like regular tape, it's not going to be as good because it doesn't stay on the paper of the chipboard very well. But this does. I don't know if I need to cut this excess off. Okay. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. If you're not like me and good at eyeballing it, again, just put those two together and put it down. Then you have a little bit of space left there. Or you can just mark it, you know, put with a ruler, put it underneath. You know. I think I learned to put those two together from Daphne from Craft and QH. She always had good way to explain things, and somehow that one stuck with me. So that's the nice thing. We all learn from each other all the time. He makes really pretty albums too. If you have a chance, you can go onto her channel and see some beautiful albums that she makes. And I think it's nice when stores like ours and designers and, you know, we appreciate each other, help each other, work together. Not that I've been working with her, but you know, I appreciate what she brings, and I'm not afraid to say and recommend. You know, I know that not one person goes to one channel. So it really bothers me when I hear other store owners put down the rest of us because of one thing or another, and I never do that. I believe in teamwork. Anyway, I was sidetracked. I was just voicing my thoughts, I guess. Okay. So what I did now is I put a little bit of tape over the edge of one of my cardstocks, and I'm going to just attach the two together to create one long one. Again, if you're not as experienced, put it on the grid line like that, and start with this edge right here with the end over here, and when you see that it's straight, you just put it down. If it didn't come out exactly straight, don't worry about it. Don't go running and do another one, because this is just for the backup, for the cover. It's going to get covered with something else anyway. Okay, so now that I have my size, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to tape the back, and then I'm going to score the edges so that I can give it direction and tell it where I want it to go when I put the glue on. Okay, for that purpose, I usually use a wider tape because the wider tape covers more area. If you don't have it, it's fine. Just put more tape. Okay. So this will glue the back side. And the first thing I do is I go around all of the borders, all around the edges, and I go as close as I possibly can to the edge. So this is where the paper is going to fold. So the closer my tape to the edges, the less chances I have of the paper moving around where it's folding. Okay, and here. And do the same on the other side. You'll notice I'm putting it not where the fold line is. Where it fold, where there's empty space between, I'm going to leave it without any glue, because this is where the pages move. If you put glue on there, it'll get attached to the paper and it will pull the paper and cause it to tear. So those areas you have to keep clear of glue as much as possible. Okay, and now we'll do the spine. Excellent. Okay, let's just go over it with a little stronger hand. Make sure it's attached all the way down to the paper really well. Okay. Let's start from this side. It's because I'm right-handed, so I'll start on the left. This way I don't have to keep my hand over the tape where after I take it out. Okay. I think I forgot to turn my phone off, so hopefully no one is going to call me in the middle of the taping. Okay. I like making the smaller size albums. They come together really fast. They're very, very cute. And they can still fit nice amount of photographs in them. Okay, I'm going to turn it around this way. I'm going to put this seam in the center and try to have equal width here. Okay, it's not exactly, see, I put it a little crooked this way. Here it's narrower than here, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to get it folded anyway. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start folding it. And with my bone tool, I'm going to just, I'm going to go over it so that it knows where to land. See, so exactly, if I keep folding it like that, and then I go over it like this, and I open it, put the glue in. The next time when I have to glue it down, it will go very easily where it needs to go. Okay. Okay. So I think I'm going to lower the volume because my thing is binging a lot. I have a lot of chats going on. Okay. And you can see again, I'm going from the middle. I always start at the middle and go to the sides. It gets a very, very nice fold over here, exactly on the edges. Okay, once again, I got to mute everything. Okay. I finished work and I was just so excited. I was so anxious to get back here and get to my studio and start working that I didn't do everything that I usually do. Switch my phone off. You know, I usually make myself some tea or something so that I can sip it when I'm working if I need to drink. I didn't do any of it. Just came straight here and started working. Okay, so I cut a little bit of the excess off because I really don't want a lot of bulk here. So about an inch and a quarter is good enough. Now I'm going to trim the corners because remember the same thing from when you would do pockets. If you fold this and then again over top, you're going to have too bulky of corners and it just doesn't look good. So what I usually do is I trim the edges off in a diagonal and I leave about a quarter of an inch on the ends. And I'm just going to use the ends here, this extra, to wrap around so that it will protect the corner. Okay. If you cut it too close, then it's not going to get wrapped and it'll leave the corner exposed. Okay, so we did these two. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it like that. And then I'm going to attach the corner and pull it into itself so that it will get nicely covered like that. Okay. But before we do get to that, let's put some glue on the edges. And again, I'm going to put it right on the edge over here. And over here. Let's see where my groove is. I don't want the glue to go over the groove. Over here. And over here. I'm going to go around. Okay. So now I know when I'm going to fold it. Most of it is going to get attached with the glue, but it's going to leave the end without glue. So this I'm going to use just a regular white glue for that. And I did not close it. Let me see that it works. See, that's also another one of the things I do before I start a live. Make sure that my glue works. Okay, it works. Okay. So we're going to start with this side and then the other long side, and then we'll do the two short sides. I'm going to stop here where I think the groove is. Stop here and go there. Again, in the middle. All right. Put a little bit here. If you want, you can also put a little bit of glue here on the edges, but on the big albums, I sometimes do it. On the small ones, I don't. For some reason, there's less stress when you do a small album. I think the pages are lighter, just less stress. Okay. Now I'm going to do the edges. I'm going to push it down. Push it down. And then fold it. Go, you pinch it and fold it like that. Put a little tiny glue under here. Okay, and push it down. So now it's nice and flat, very clean. Okay, same thing here. Push it down. Get fold. Okay. And give it a little bit of folding. You see how this one comes up here and these go down? So just push it down, go like that a little bit, and it'll stay down. Okay. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to put the hinges, and I want 4 hinges because I built 4 pages, or 4 signatures. I usually keep the long side, so the width of my album is 6.5 and my pages are 6, so my hinge has to be a little bit less than 6 for the page to fit into it. Usually 1/4 inch is plenty. So if it's 6, I have to take a 1/4 inch out. That leave me 5 3/4. So let's cut it at 5 3/4. Now I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to start thinking about the center. On an 11-inch page, my center is at 5.5, right? And I want about a 1/2 inch between the hinges. So if I want 1/2 inch between the hinges, I'm going to have to go 1/4 inch to each side. That's here at 5 1/4 and at 5 3/4. Right? So here I have 5 1/4 and here I have 5 1/4. So this is my center. Okay. Now over here and over here will be a hinge. So I'm going to turn it over. And I'm thinking I want my hinge to be at 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to do 3/4 from this line here. So that's 4 1/2. And 3/4 from this line here. That's 6 1/2. I'm going to turn it over again. And again, I'm going to take 3/4 from each one of the score lines that we just did. So if this one is at 4 1/2, I'm going to do here at 3 3/4. And over here at 7 1/4. I'm going to do another line at a 1/2 inch away now. So that's 3 1/4 here. And this is 7 3/4 here. So what we have is I gave another 1/2 inch distance. All these here, the 3/4 on this quarter here is going to be my hinge. This. And this is the spaces. So I have 2 hinges. And now I need 2 more. So I'm going to put 1 more hinge here and 1 more hinge here. So 3/4 from this line over here. Actually, I have to turn it over. Let's turn it over. Do 3 inches, 3/4 of an inch from here is 2 1/2. And 3/4 from here is 8 1/4. Oh, sorry, 8 1/2. 8 1/2. And then another 3/4 from here is 9 1/4. Okay, 2, 1 3/4, but this one have to be on this side. So I'll turn it over and we'll do 1 3/4 and here at 9 1/4. Okay. And then we can start folding it. This is my valley. This is my mount. This is my valley and another valley. Okay. So you see how the 3/4 ones created like a triangle that I can attach together and get a hinge. And then this is my space, 1/2 inch. So just keep folding it in accordance with your lines. So the line that's in the middle between the 2 3/4 inch ones are your hinges. Okay. I'm just going along with the lines and folding and burnishing. Okay. So here is what you'll get at the end. Okay. You'll get this. Straight line here where it starts is 3/4, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 3/4. And you get 4 hinges with 1/2 inch spaces in between, like that. Okay, that's great. Let's glue those triangles together. And I'm going to take my 5/8 tape. And if you don't have tape, just you can use glue. It's perfectly okay to just use glue. So I'm taping one side of the 3/4. One, two, three. Okay. Here we are. And now we're going to put this right here in the middle. And I'm going to leave over here some space. And I'm going to have here about 3/8 of an inch from each side. And I want this middle space to be in the center of the spine. So if you can't eyeball it, again, just take a pencil and make your mark. No? So if you know that this is about it, take your marker, take your ruler, measure this, measure, your distance here and make the middle. Okay, find your middle, find your center. Okay, and now I am going to just glue this thing. I'm going to be very generous with my glue. The only place I'm not going to glue it is on the grooves, right? I don't want it on the grooves. So it's about 1/2 inch. I'm going to keep clear. And go back like that. It's okay on this side if you get a little glue there, because this is where the pages fold down. So nothing is going to happen. It's more important not to do it on the other side where the paper stretches. Okay. Let's put it down. We want to make sure it goes down and attaches everywhere. Okay. Now I'm going over it where the grooves are and what I'm doing is I'm breaking the fibers of the paper by applying a little bit of pressure, not a lot, because if you apply a lot, you'll break it. But with this area here of the bone fold, okay, go over it a few times with a little bit of pressure. And as you go, fold the page like that. Okay. Okay, and just work on it a little bit until you feel that it attached well, it dried enough. If you need to add more glue, add more glue. If you need to put clips down, I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. It keeps popping up. And over here, maybe a little bit. Okay, I think I'm going to just leave it like that for a few minutes to let it dry. Okay, let's cut a piece of the cardstock so we can put it here nicely. Actually, you know, I don't need the cardstock. I have pattern paper that I prepared, and I can put here like that. Okay, so I have I want to, well, maybe I will put something so it'll be nice and clean. But I want to say something about what we're going to do from now on is I am going to do the cover with some rice paper and put these two pieces in the back side. However, if you're doing more minimal materials and you don't have the rice paper, don't put this here. We're going to cover it with regular cardstock, and you can use this to decorate the outside instead of the rice paper. Okay? Like that. So you'll have two of these. I'm just giving you an alternative in case you don't want to do, in case you don't have rice paper or you ran out, or you don't feel like you have to run out and buy the whole store. Okay, so I'm going to cut two pieces at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I'm going to put them right here like that. And I am not going to ink the edges of these because I want it to have clean lines. So I want it to actually blend in with the cardstock that I used to wrap my page with. And I'm going to put it in the middle like that. So that gives it a very nice clean look. Okay. Now for decorating the cover. Okay. So remember, this I'm going to keep for the insides, but I'm not putting them for now. And if you don't have the rice paper, use this for the outside. Okay. Okay, I'm going to end this video. I'm going to come back and I'm going to prepare all of my other items that I have, and we're going to do the cover. And I'll see you in a bit.